all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality. And the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life, well, that's another. Which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week. To help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host for the day, Erica Middlemiss. I am just another reflection and extension of you who will be here filling in for our beloved host, Brandon Beecham, leading the way to ensure your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, this episode of the Positive Head Podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Today is another magical Monday, and I'm so super happy to be here with you all and start the week. Today, I've had an interesting day and some interesting conversations, which have prompted the subject of today's discussion, which is the healing power of the mind. I've been a naturopathic physician for 15 years or so, and I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot of patterns in people when they stay sick and when they heal. So I'm going to share a little bit of that today. But before I do, actually, I'd like to let you all know about this really cool event that's coming up. If you happen to be in the LA area or anywhere near the LA area, this event is taking place on June 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's called the Mass Meditation Initiative, and it is in Los Angeles State Historic Park. And this event is truly just a really fun event. It's family friendly. It's a mindful yoga, music, healing, and arts vegan festival. And the best part about it is that NACO and Medicine for the People are headlining. So this is a donation-based event. So you can choose to make a donation or you could go for free. So I encourage any and all of you who are around the area to please come out. And if you happen to see me, please say hi. I'd love to meet you. So before I get into today's topic, I'd like to read a review. You know how much we love to get these and we love to share them. And it helps new listeners find us. And so we're super appreciative anytime anyone writes us a review. And today our review is by Bay Mountain Girl, and it's titled Thank You with 5 stars. I have been listening to your show for almost a year now. I have grown so much from opening my mind and practicing believing that all I need is to love myself, live in the moment, and work towards becoming the best version of myself, my true self. I still struggle with this philosophy and applying this truth into my everyday life. But I find that whenever I get lost, this podcast helps me to find the light again, over and over. Truly grateful for your passion to spread these spiritual breadcrumbs to guide me on my path to enlightenment. Thank you, Brandon. Well, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Bay Mountain Girl. Breadcrumbs indeed. That's our goal. Spreading little breadcrumbs, and hopefully you all are picking them up and putting them together and really, using those to find your light and believe it. This belief or concept of believing is so huge. What we believe is what we create. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The power of our mind to create whatever it is that we wish to create. And we can use the power of our mind either way. We can use it to create things that are healthy for us or things that are unhealthy for us. So I said before how I am a naturopathic doctor. and how I have observed many, many patterns over the years in people who heal or people who stay sick. And the biggest thing that I learned many, many years ago, it didn't take very long to see this pattern, is that those who did not want to work on their inner emotions and those who wanted to find an outside source to heal them, those are the people who never healed, no matter what they did. It didn't matter if they were doing the best in naturopathic medicine. And I mean like ozone treatments and stem cell therapy. I mean, you name it. Even then, these people weren't healing because they didn't take back their own power. And that's the power of their mind to heal themselves. When we start thinking that this is something that's happening to us, or it's something that happened because of an outside source, that's where we lose our power. And this is really easy to do nowadays. You know, there's so many outside sources that we can look to quote unquote blame what's happening within us. You know, for example, our food has been so manipulated, and it's so sad what's going on with our food. At the same time, you can either choose to let that get to you and let that be the focus of your attention when you're eating, or you can understand that these things are only an opportunity for you to use them for good or for bad. So you could look at these things and be fearful of them. And then what they will do is turn around and harm you. But if you look at these things and don't have the fear and know that your body is so strong, that it has the innate capability to heal anything, that takes away the fear. And now you don't give these things the opportunity to harm you. It really is that simple, believe it or not. Here's this belief again. You have to actually believe that you can create an internal environment of high vibration, of pure love and gratitude at all times. And at that point, there is nothing external that can harm you. No glyphosate, no GMO, no pesticide, no virus or bacteria. None of that can touch you when your internal state is pure and loving and grateful. So I had this patient once, speaking of these things that can harm us. He was like 85, maybe, old cowboy from Arizona. And he was just a good old boy. And he loved to drink his scotch and smoke his cigarettes. And he probably smoked a good pack a day. And that's what made him happy. Well, he had a heart attack. And at that point, every doctor, every family member was telling him, you can't smoke anymore, you can't drink anymore. So he wasn't allowed to do those things. And every time I saw him for the next few months, because he had quit smoking and he quit drinking, given he had a heart attack, so he was recovering from this, but he wasn't actually recovering. It was like months, and he just still looked the same, sallow, downtrodden, pale, just walking very slow and miserable. Then one day, a few weeks later, he comes in, pep in his step. He's all pinked up and he's happy. And I looked at him and I was like, so you're smoking again, huh? And he was like, damn right I am. And, you know, as his physician, I'm not going to be like, do what you want, man. But at the same time, that's what I think in my head, because if that is what is going to make you happy, you're 85 years old, for criminy's sake, do what makes you happy. Because depriving yourself of the things that do make you happy, even if they are unhealthy, quote unquote, to our reality, that's more harmful to you, because that belief in harming yourself with not giving yourself the things that you like, it's a deprivation, right? So you're harming yourself more in that sense. We also have this philosophy in naturopathic medicine as far as diet goes, because we can get very wrapped up in trying to eat very healthy and do all the right things. And that in and of itself can become an imbalance when we're just so caught up in what we're putting in our mouths, right? And it's good to eat healthy. Absolutely. A good foundation is just primary, right? But it's when we let our mind get out of control with it. So our philosophy is just eat the cookie. If you want a cookie that bad, then just have a cookie. It's going to be worse for you depriving yourself from that enjoyable cookie than you just eating the flippin' cookie. So just eat the cookie, enjoy yourself. And remember, we don't need to make this as complicated as we always do. It's really very simple. Our health and well-being comes from inside of us when we decide that we know that we are love, that we are grateful, and that we have the power. We can change our mind. And in that, everything changes. As Julia Cannon always says, we are great and powerful creators. We just forgot. That's what happens when we come into this 3D existence. We forget how powerful we really are. And we let the external circumstances of this world define us sometimes. But we don't have to, because we have the power to change that all in our mind. It comes down to practicing a certain thought, a more desired thought, every single day. And I'm going to share a clip about this that Joe Dispenza talks about some really helpful tips. He talks about it really takes 6 to 8 weeks of practicing this type of thing before it really sits in, before you actually make that change in your body. So, you know, we have to be patient and remember that this is a practice and it is a process, right? So if you think you're just going to sit down and change your mind and everything's going to be all okay, well, cool. Then maybe it'll go a little faster then. But realistically, let's be, understanding of the fact that this is a process and that changing our mind does take some time and some practice, especially if this is an ingrained belief that's been programmed into us throughout, decades. So, just be patient with yourself and don't give up. That's the biggest thing. Believe and know that this power is within you. I also, in addition to being a naturopathic physician, I'm also a QHHT practitioner, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And in that technique, what we do is get to the place in the mind, the higher self, or the subconscious, as Dolores calls it, Dolores Cannon, the creator of the technique. And there you get all of the answers. And this is the part that is your true self, your bigger self, that is always looking out for your highest and best. And this part is always saying, this is all very simple. It's very, very simple. You can heal yourself instantaneously once you actually change your mind, right? And this can happen in these sessions and does happen all the time. Another thing that does happen is that people will wake up from the sessions and immediately doubt. That conscious mind comes in with the doubt that says, how could this be true? This isn't real. This can't be that simple. But it is. And we have to remember to release this doubt when it comes up. Let it go. That's not serving us. This conscious mind behavior of the doubt and the disbelief, it doesn't serve us at all. So if we can listen to what our higher self guidance, our inner guidance is telling us, we have a leg up and we will realize how simple this can really, truly be. And in that regard, when we are listening to our inner guidance and we can learn to make those discernments within ourselves, now we have this ability to look within instead of looking outside of ourselves for answers or for relief. There are always helpers in the outside, right? There are people that can help us and guide us along our way, but that is all that they are. There is nobody that is going to heal you but you. I can promise you that. No one but you. You decide. Someone will offer you the opportunity, maybe, the guidance, but it is you at the end of the day who actually makes that decision. And you are the one that does the work, and you are the one that heals you. Got it? Let's listen to Joe Dispenza and see what he has to say. Take a listen.
I started becoming fascinated with the idea that you can give someone a sugar pill, a saline injection, or perform some false surgery or treatment, and a certain percentage of those people will accept, believe, and surrender to the thought that they're getting the actual substance or treatment. And they begin to program their autonomic nervous system to make the exact pharmacy of chemicals equal to the substance that they think they're taking. So then it begs the question, is it the inert placebo that's doing the healing, or is it the body's innate capacity to heal by thought alone? Because that pill is a symbol of possibility. All it is a symbol. The doctor says, this is a great new drug that's going to help with depression, and the person begins to think about the idea that they could get better. They're selecting a new potential in the quantum field. And then all of a sudden, a certain percentage of those people will get enthusiastic and theos, filled with God, inspired, optimistic. They start changing their emotional state. They're combining a clear intention with an elevated emotion, and they're changing their state of being. And all of a sudden now, I began to realize, do you need the sugar pill? Do you need the saline injection? Or can you teach a person, instead of putting their faith and belief in something exogenous outside of them, that would do the healing, to change their state of being? Can they just select the new potential in the quantum field instead of focusing on a known, focus on an unknown, and revisit that unknown every single day until it becomes a known? And all of a sudden, you'll see people's depression go away, their anxiety go away, and they're not using the placebo any longer. They're healing by changing their internal states. The person doesn't need the exogenous or external substance. They can move into a state of being without it. So I thought, once I understood the mechanics of the placebo, I could teach this process even better. And in fact, you can. You know, you can't do a study right now, any drug-related study, without having a triple-blind placebo test. And placebos, just so you know, they range from working anywhere from 10% to 100%. Imagine that. So, in a depression study, as an example, 83% or 81% of the people in a depression study that are given a placebo heal as well as the people that are given the actual antidepressants. Now, there's brain scans to show changes in their brain before and after. It means then they're making their own pharmacy of antidepressants by thought alone. And it took them 6 weeks, 8 weeks of taking that placebo every single day. Now, this is an important point, because most people think, oh, I did the exercise or the meditation once and my conditions should go away. Well, even in the depression study, 6 to 8 weeks of taking the placebo. Every time they take the placebo, they remind themselves that they're going to get better. They change their emotional state. Sooner or later, that becomes their new state of being. It may take people 6 to 8 weeks of doing the work every single day where they start noticing significant changes in their health. So, I'm a pragmatist. And if you're telling me something that's science-based, the question that I ask is, how am I going to apply this to my life? So, as people begin to gather this information, I now know that every time we learn something new, we're making new connections in our brain. That's what learning is. If people can understand the understanding of the new sciences, quantum physics, neuroscience, neuroendocrinology, psychoneuroimmunology, the mind-body connection, epigenetics, all of those sciences point the finger at possibility. And if I can instruct them in a way that they begin to piece together the model, when I feel like we're at a certain point where the comprehension is right, if they can turn to the person next to them and explain it in the workshop. If they can't explain it, it's not wired in their brain. But if they can explain it, they're beginning to install the neurological hardware in their brain in preparation for an experience. So then if I can set up the conditions in the environment and give them the proper instruction, and allow them to surrender enough into the present moment, a certain percentage of those people are going to get their behaviors to match their intentions. And when they do, they're going to experience something new. And the experience then is going to produce an emotion, and they're going to feel unlimited, and they're going to feel whole, they're going to feel invincible. The moment they feel that emotion, now they're teaching their body chemically to understand what their mind is intellectually understood. Now they're embodying the truth of that philosophy by initiating it, which means if you've done it once, you'll be able to do it again. If you can repeat the experience over and over again, you'll begin to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. When you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it as well as your mind, now you're mastering that philosophy, and now you're in a new state of being. So we have to go from philosopher to initiate to master, from thinking to doing to being. And once you get to that point where it now becomes innate in you, becomes who you are, then you've memorized an internal state independent of the conditions in your external environment. That's when you begin to master your environment or master your life. I call somebody up on the stage that was diagnosed with breast cancer, colon cancer, diagnosed with esophageal cancer. I can go down the list, and they stand on the stage and they tell their story. And it's not that they look like a movie star, sports figure. They're not all buff, they're not all young, they're not all beautiful. Just a common person. And you hear the story, how they did it. You hear about their past, and you realize what initiated the disease. And then
emotional trauma, maybe.
Emotional trauma, one trauma, or two traumas. And then how they had to overcome the emotions from their past. Now think about this. The latest research in epigenetics says that it's the environment that signals the gene. Genes are like Christmas tree lights. They're turning on and off all the time. Genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. The expression of proteins is the expression of life. But if you're interpreting your environment the same way every single day, you're thinking the same thoughts, demonstrating the same behaviors, living by the same emotions, you keep the same genes on and the other genes off. Throw in the hormones of stress, which really downregulates genes to create disease. Then the question is, if the environment signals the gene, and the end product of an experience in your environment is called an emotion, if you live by the same emotions every single day, your body's believing it's in the same past environmental experience over and over again, and now you're headed for a genetic destiny. So then, can you signal the gene ahead of the environment? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because when you begin to embrace an elevated emotion and you combine it with a clear intention, and you're totally in the present moment, your brain and body don't know the difference between what's going on out there and what's going on in here. Your body believes it's in some experience in the external environment that's producing that emotion. And all of a sudden, the stronger the emotion you feel from an inward process, the more you pay attention to the thought or the image in your mind, you're creating a long-term memory. And all of a sudden now, you begin to downregulate the gene for disease, and you begin to upregulate the gene for health, and that gene begins to make a new protein, and that protein begins to make a new hormone or a new chemical or an expression of something, a new chemical that's going to begin to affect other systems in the body. So,
and that's what happens on stage. There's a lot of energy in the room.
No, that's what happens when a person finally breaks through.
Right, and that can happen.
That could happen in our event, but it could be a person who it took them 2 years to do it.
Right.
But the evidence suggests that acute conditions, our medicine is so great for acute conditions. You break your arm, you have appendicitis, you're not going to go to an acupuncturist. You're going to get immediate care. Chronic conditions require a lifestyle change, which means you have to start making different choices. You got to start examining the way you live your life and the choices you make and the thoughts you think and how you manage your emotions. And so the beauty behind all of this is that just like an infection spreads amongst the community and creates disease, once people start breaking through and they wrap their mind around this, health and wellness can be as infectious as disease, and we're seeing it happen. The moment you start feeling grateful, your healing begins. The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing's beginning. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you're going to create some pretty important relationships, and now you're causing an effect. So don't get up from your meditation until you feel connected to your future. and then maintain that modified state of mind and body your entire day, just independent of your boss, your coworkers, traffic, independent of your indigestion, independent of your pain in your hip, independent of how long, just stay there. And if you're able to maintain that modified state of mind and body your entire day, get ready, because weird and crazy stuff are going to begin to come to you in ways that you would never expect. That's the unknown. That's the quantum now. That's feedback from your environment telling you that you are connected to that intelligence.
So that's great. He starts off with talking about the placebo effect, which is such a beautiful thing that science has come across. And what this is actually telling us is that our belief in what we're doing is what is actually doing the work. Because you can give someone a sugar pill or a saline injection and they will heal. They're not healing because of this inert substance. They're healing because of their body's innate capacity to heal by their thought alone. And the placebo effect has proven that. So anyone who has a disbelief in this idea that your mind can heal you, look to the placebo effect and explore that a little bit, because it's hard to explain that in any other way. I really love the idea that he talked about the pill being a symbol of possibility. And that's really all any external thing is, whether it's an energy healing or an herb or a supplement. It is all just a symbol of possibility. And that we have the ability to select that new potential in the quantum field at any time, because all possibilities are available to us always. That's this beautiful part about this creation, this existence that we live in, is that infinite possibilities are surrounding us everywhere. I mean, even our atoms, we are made up of there's tiny black holes in our cells, in our atoms. So that right there is infinite possibility, a black hole. That means we are infinite possibility. This entire creation, infinite possibility. We decide, we get to choose. So we talked about when you can change your emotional state and you can combine that clear intention with the elevated emotion, that's when you can change your state of being. And I like this idea so much, because if we can just, in our mind, imagine what it feels like. We hear Esther Hicks talk about this, Abraham Hicks talk about this all the time, about feeling the feeling of what it feels like to be in that more desirable place that you want to be in. What does that feel like? Create that elevated emotion, and that then will change the inner state of your being. The more you practice it, right? The more you do it, the more it becomes set in. And he talked about that doing this actually changes your genes. Which genes we turn on or turn off has everything to do with how we're reacting to our environment. And we react to our environment based on our internal environment, don't we? Like Wayne Dyer talks about squeezing an orange, right? And what happens when you squeeze an orange juice comes out. Well, if I squeeze you, what comes out? Is anger coming out? Is grief coming out? Or is love coming out? Is gratitude coming out? When I squeeze you, if you can pour out love, you got it. You got it. And you're doing it. So that's the goal. We want to be able to embody those emotions, and then our body doesn't know the difference, right? We're actually embodying the truth, and our body gets it. Our body changes from our thinking. It becomes innate. This disease process that we see ourselves going through, we see others go through, all of it. Now, with the exception of pre-incarnative choices, meaning if you came in with a congenital disease, that's different. That's a choice that you made before you got here. But any things that are happening that have developed in this life from emotional traumas or emotions from the past, these are the reasons why this disease has come up. And so to understand that alone and to be able to forgive and release the past, that puts you on a path towards healing. And I really like the point he made there that he said, healing begins the moment that you start feeling grateful. When we start feeling worthy and abundant and whole, and by loving ourselves. That couldn't be any more true. So one really helpful way to create this is in meditation, to sit in meditation every day, creating these emotions for yourself within yourself, and then maintaining that state of mind throughout the day. And then when you can do that, and you can do that on a regular basis, that's when you become independent of all of the things that are happening in your external world. And so maintaining that is when you really start to feel connected to the intelligence that we all are, to this infinite intelligence, to all of us, to the earth. We're all connected. And when we can turn within, we realize that it just kind of comes with the territory. You know, another really great place to set in positive thoughts and feelings is in that in-between state of waking and sleeping. So we're all in this state twice a day before going to bed and then waking up. There's that in-between state. And if we can catch ourselves in this state, this is the state where the right and left sides of the brain are working together. And here is where you can do some amazing work. Here is also where we need to be really careful, because if we're going to bed thinking of all these things that are happening in our life, or we're thinking negative thoughts, we're actually creating that because it's really powerful in this space. So at the very least, try not to think the negative thoughts when you're going to sleep, and also upon awakening. Those are the 2 times every day where you can really set in good, powerful emotions. So I encourage you all to try that. And if you're not meditating daily, I am encouraging you so hard to meditate every day, please, because it is really the one thing that will change your mind and your emotions. It's the most powerful thing I know of, for sure. So definitely, if you're not already meditating, please start up a practice. I guarantee you will be happy that you did. So I think that's it for me today, everybody. I truly enjoyed being here with you all. I'm going to leave you with a song today by Trevor Hall called Om Shakti Om. Till next time, everyone. Love you all. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear Brandon constantly say, it is a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration, and if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place we know of to do it. Period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
My mama rides a lion, my dad wears ashes and snakes. My mama is a warrior, she kills demons in her play. My daddy has the power and he likes her this way. Well, I call him day and night, I never leave their side singing Om Shakti Om, Shakti Om, yeah. My mama lets her hair hang loose, my dad likes to sit still. Watching mama scream and dance gives him such a thrill. Hey, My mama drinks from a skull cup. You got any demons, I shall sip them up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. They live upon the mountain. They're the eternal fountain. Om Shakti, Om, yeah. Oh, my mama and my dad, they are mad, yeah. Singing Om Shakti, Om, yeah. Singing Om Shakti, oh, yeah. Singing Om Shakti, oh, yeah. Singing Om Shakti, oh, 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 yeah. Om Shakti, oh, yeah. Om Shakti, oh, my mama rides a lion, my dad wears ashes and snakes. Mama is a warrior, she kills demons in her play. My daddy has the power and he likes her this way. Oh, yeah. They live upon the mountain. They're the eternal fountain. Om Shakti, Om. Singing Om Shakti, Om, yeah. Singing Om Shakti, Om, Shakti.